All 3D printed desktop gadget can show a CCTV stream, a weather dashboard, a clock, and a settings menu. I had an ESP32S3, a TFT display, 4 push buttons, a passive buzzer, a rechargeable battery module, and a few basic components. First, I wired everything together. At that point, I did not start with a final fixed idea. I simply created the hardware first and then started thinking, what useful desktop gadget can I build from this setup? After testing the wiring, I designed and 3D printed a custom case for it. Connect the complete wiring. First, we start with power and ground. Connect the final 5-volt power line to the 5-volt pin of the ESP32. Now, connect all grounds together. This means ESP32 ground, display ground, buzzer circuit ground, charging module out minus should all be connected to the same ground line. Also, connect one side of all 4 push buttons to this same common ground line. Now connect the 4 push buttons. Now connect the button 1 to GPIO 8. Connect the button 2 to GPIO 9. Connect the button 3 to GPIO 10. Connect the button 4 to GPIO 11. So each button has its own GPIO pin. Now connect the passive buzzer using the BC547 transistor. Connect the positive pin of the buzzer to 5 volts. Connect the negative pin of the buzzer to the collector pin of the BC547. Connect the emitter pin to ground. Connect GPIO 12 of the ESP32 to a resistor. And connect the other side of the resistor to the base pin of the BC547. Now, connect the battery and charging module. Connect the battery positive wire to B+ on the J5019 HW-357 module. Connect the battery negative wire to B- on the module. Now let's connect the diode power path. We are using 2 SS34 Schottky diodes. The purpose of these diodes is to select the power source automatically. When the charging cable is connected, the circuit should run directly from the charging cable, and the battery should only charge. When the charging cable is removed, the circuit should automatically run from the battery through the boost output. For the first diode, connect the charging cable 5V positive line to the non-stripe side of the SS34 diode. Connect the stripe side of this diode to the ESP32 5V line. For the second diode, connect the J5019 module out+ to the non-stripe side of another SS34 diode. Connect the stripe side of this second diode to the same ESP32 5V line. So both diode stripe sides join together and go to the ESP32 5V pin. Now for battery voltage reading, use a voltage divider. Connect battery positive to a 100K resistor. Connect the other side of this resistor to GPIO 1. From GPIO 1, connect another 100K resistor to ground. Now, connect the display. Connect display VCC to 3.3 volts. Connect display GND to ground. Connect display SDA to GPIO 4. Connect display SCL to GPIO 3. Connect display CS to GPIO 7. Connect display DC to GPIO 6. Connect display RST to GPIO 5. Connect display BL to GPIO 2. After this, the wiring is complete. Now, let's start the firmware side. First, create a new empty folder for the project. Open this folder inside VS Code. After that, open the VS Code terminal and start Codex from inside the same project folder. If you are new to PlatformIO, VS Code, or Agentic coding setup, I have already made a detailed guide for that. Now, once Codex is open inside our empty project folder, we can start building the firmware. Instead of asking it to create the full project in one prompt, we will do it step by step. First, we will ask it to create the basic PlatformIO project structure. It is completed and the basic project structure is created, we will not jump directly to the full menu system. Now, we will give Codex the next small prompt. This time, we will only ask it to add the 2-inch ST7789 TFT display. Setup is complete and the test screen is working. Now we will add the push buttons to our project. These buttons will be used later for menu navigation, selection, back, previous, and next actions. Firmware and testing it on the actual hardware, I noticed 2 things. First, the display orientation was not correct. so we need to rotate the screen. Second, now we also need to add the passive buzzer on GPIO 12 for button feedback and system sounds. So instead of manually changing everything, we will give Codex another correction prompt.
Codex, the next prompt. Now add battery voltage monitoring. The battery voltage is connected to ADC GPIO 1 through a 100K resistor voltage divider. Calculate battery percentage between 3.0 volts and 4.2 volts.
We want a proper boot screen first, and after booting, we want a clean main menu like Android phone. This main menu will have 4 options: camera, settings, weather, and clock. We will also use the 4 physical buttons for navigation. The first button will work as OK. The second button will work as back. The third button will move to the previous menu item, and the fourth button will move to the next menu item. We also want the selected menu item to be visually highlighted on the screen. And on the top right side, we want a small battery icon showing the current battery status. Animation and main menu are working. At this point, the basic interface is ready, so now we can start adding real features inside each menu. First, we will open the camera menu. Here, we will add the CCTV camera stream. For this part, we need to provide Codex with our DVR or camera details, including the camera IP address, DVR brand, username, password if required, and the correct snapshot or stream URL. We will test the camera screen and check if the stream or snapshot is loading correctly. Next, we will work on the settings menu. Inside settings, we need 2 things. First, Wi-Fi setup. Second, buzzer feedback control. So we will give another prompt. We will move to the weather menu. Here, we will add a weather dashboard for our location. So the next prompt will be, the final screen is the clock menu. For the clock, we will create it in the same style as our ESP32 watch faces project. So the prompt will be, we did not create everything in one large prompt. We started with the basic project. Then we added the display, then buttons, then buzzer, then battery monitoring, then boot animation and main menu. And finally, we added camera, settings, weather, and clock screens one by one. This is the real benefit of agentic coding. Test the result on real hardware, find the issue, and then guide the agent again until the project becomes complete. So now our 3D printed ESP32 desktop gadget is working with a CCTV stream, Wi-Fi settings, buzzer control, weather dashboard, clock screen, battery status, physical buttons, and a clean menu interface. The complete code generated for this project is available on GitHub. You can find the link in the video description. We can improve the UI, add more apps, make better animations, and turn this into an even more powerful desktop gadget. If you're interested in ESP32 projects, 3D printed gadgets, displays, and agentic coding, stay tuned for the next video.